employers. Everything we're going to talk about today is based on our own experiences working with our clients for a few years now to put their petition together. If you have a specific immigration issue, we also advise that you please, approach an attorney and make your case explained or well known to them, and they can advise appropriately. So again, today, we are coming to you from my green card story, and our specialization is helping people to put together their EB2-NIW. Today, I have Dr. Bobola Akintomide. He got his PhD in the United States about 2 or 3 years ago, and he's an assistant professor today. He will be talking to us about how you put your petition together, okay? And my name is Olanike Olukunle. I also got my PhD in the United States a few years ago, and I will be talking to you about the differences between the requirements and the supporting document of EB2-NIW and EB1A, so you can make a decision on which one you're going to go with. And thirdly, we're joined by Jane Doe, another employee of our organization who loves to stay anonymous, just the way she is. We really thank everyone for joining again, and we hope that this session is very, very informative to you. Please follow us on our social media pages. It's very important to us. You can use the code, I think is a QR code or whatever. You can scan that and to take you to our website. On our website, you will get to know more about us. And you can, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and X. Using handles. Grace, please mute yourself. Using our handles here. Thank you very much. So I would have Dr. Bob please introduce our services to you. For those that are just getting to know about us, we want them to know what are the services we really offer and how we truly help people to, put together their packages. I'd like to implore us, everybody's busy. Please mute yourself so that this session is very productive for everyone. Please, I beg you. Thank you. Dr. Bobola.
Okay, thank you so much, Nike. So Jane, she will help us to mute anyone that's not on mute. So that being said, I'm going to quickly take like about 1 minute to talk about our service. So the 4 that showed on this slide are just some of the services that we render. So obviously, number 1, online consultation. During that consultation, we're going to evaluate your profile to see if you stand a chance of getting an approved petition. Then we'll recommend the best service for you. So the consultation is not just for those that are ready to turn in their petition. We usually advise those that are just coming into the US for their master's and PhD to also schedule a consultation with us. The reason why we do that is we have noticed a trend among people that come to the US and they're enrolled in a graduate program, but they're not maximizing that opportunity to get all the necessary documents that they need to apply for EB2-NIW or to increase their profile by maybe either engaging in a funded research. We have seen instances in which people decide to enroll for a non-thesis master's program, and so they're not getting any evidence. So because of that, it makes it difficult for them to even apply for EB2-NIW. So if you enroll for the constitutional service. We can tell you things that you can achieve within the 1 year or 2 year period, or maybe 5 years of your PhD program that will help you not just to apply for EB2-NIW, but even when you're looking for a job. Then for the premium service, the main thing that we'll do is we help people to draft their petition cover letter for a fee, among other things. Then for the review service, the applicant will have done all the work by themselves. Then they will just come to us to help them to review their petition cover letter, their recommendation letters, and their CV. The guided tour is between the premium service and the review service. So the reason why we started, and the guided tour, we're basically assisting you to write your petition cover letter. We're not writing it, you are writing it. The reason why we started the guided tour was because we found out that a lot of people are writing their petition cover letter by themselves, but they're not writing it very well. And by the time they send it in for the review service, what they send in usually still need a lot of work. And that's why we started the guided tour. So basically what we do is we'll sit with you. We have like maybe 3 or 4 meetings with you. We sit with you and help you to draft an outline for each prong of your cover letter. We'll tell you about things that you can write for your proposed endeavor, substantial international importance, then you now go and write it. So we do that for each of the prong that you need to address in your petition cover letter. And when you now finish writing the entire letter, you now send it to us for edit, not review. So edit means we're basically helping you to type in some things and helping you to move around some paragraphs to make sure that it sounds logical and is very convincing to the USS officer. Thank you so much. Nikki, over to you.
Okay. So we do not intend to take much of your time. We have used our 5 minutes on introductions and telling you about our company. So I'll go straight to the presentation, the first part of the presentation. And we are giving enough time for people that have questions towards the end, 30 minutes. And, you know, we'll provide any insight, whatever you need to know about putting your packet together towards the end. So let us start. So for anybody joining this talk today, you probably know that EB1 up to EB5 are employment-based categories of filing for the United States green card. Under EB1, EB1 is the first priority. Under EB1, you have EB1A to C, okay? EB1A is the one that affords you the opportunity to file by yourself, to put in your petition by yourself without an employer helping you, without a lawyer or anybody necessarily holding your hands. So EB1A, you do not need a labor certificate. You do not need a job offer already waiting for you in the United States to apply for the EB1A. The EB1A, however, is for outstanding professors, okay? Not just professors, okay? Outstanding professors, multinational managers. Actually, the USCIS says certain, some specific multinational managers. So again, if you work with a multinational company and you're a manager, you have to know what that certain means before you put in your application. And non-citizens of extraordinary ability. So extraordinary ability is, in USCIS connotation, it means that you are Einstein. Okay, you have an ability that is really, really outstanding, either in science or in business or in technology. Okay, so that is EB1A. It is first priority, okay, for the United States, and they take it as such. As I speak with you, the approval rate for EB1A is 74%. All right. the approval rate, so when you submit application, or all the people that have submitted application, about 74% of them will get an approval. So the EB2-NIW, on the other hand, is for those that just have their advanced degree. So you have your advanced degree, either master's or PhD, and you have exceptional ability, meaning you might not be Einstein, but you have those things that make you stand out from an average person that has a master's or a PhD. So the other specific thing about EB2 and what makes that NIW at the back very important is that you have to propose something to the United States, okay? For the EB1A, it is focused on your past, basically. They don't want you to suggest to them how you want to come to the United States and make impact. If you are someone who is Einstein, or you've gotten a very big Nobel Prize or very big international prize, they probably know where you're going to fit in the United States when you get your permanent residency. But for EB2-NIW, they need you to vocalize it. They need you to articulate what you will be doing. And they want to see if it has national importance and substantial merits. So the NIW is National Interest Waiver. So you have to show how what you're going to do, the problem you're going to solve with your profession as someone who has an advanced degree is going to be of national interest. I hope we can see some of the differences. Also, NIW does not require you to already have a job. Okay, you can waive a job offer and you do not need a labor certificate. In fact, it means that you're telling them to waive the labor certificate for you. For both categories, when the main applicant is approved, their family members will also get Greencard, their wife and their children, wherever they're applying from. They will come to them, they will come with them into the United States as well. They will become green card holders eventually. All right. Okay. So those are the differences, the definition that we will start with. And I hope it is clear. If you have any question, I didn't explain anything clearly, you still have some doubts, please keep your questions. We are going to take questions at the end of everything. So again, EB1 is the priority, first preference. EB2 is the second priority, okay? Both of them do not need you to have job offers in the United States. They do not need you to have an employer that is already giving you a job. And both of them would enable you to get a green card and your family, your immediate family members as well. Okay, so let us start this exercise because I know a lot of people on this call, they want to know which one should I apply for. Okay, let me tell you, the approval rate for EB2-NIW today is 85%. Okay, it's 85%. It is higher than the first priority because the requirement or the eligibility criteria for EB1A is higher, is tougher than EB2-NIW. And I also want to say the reason why people are a little bit conflicted between the two is because EB1A, being first priority, has a short turnaround time and the priority date is current, meaning if you do all this within 4 to 5 months, you can become a permanent resident. However, for EB2-NIW, the priority date is not current. So you can be on the process for between 1 year to 2 years before you finish. So people that really have all the requirements, they are looking, oh, which one should I do? Let's go through it together. So like I told you, EB1A is for non-citizens of extraordinary ability. So extraordinary ability, it might mean in athletics, it might mean in sports, it doesn't have to be in science, but you need to have a supporting document that confirms that you have that extraordinary ability. You won't just say it. So you need to show a one-time prize. Maybe you won Olympics, or your art was exhibited in one of the, international exhibition programs. You need to show that one-time achievement that is international to show that you are extraordinary. Okay? So an outstanding professor or researcher, we're talking about EB1 now to my left. If you are a professor, okay, and you've taught for like 3 years and you don't have an original research that maybe has won a patent, or it doesn't have to be Einstein level research like novel, nobody has seen it before, but you need to show evidence of awards that says your impact or that original research is having impact globally or internationally to be an outstanding professor. Okay. Then, of course, I already talked about extraordinary ability in science, higher education, business, or athletics through sustained national, international acclaim, right? So let's talk about certain multinational executives or manager. We get this question a lot. If I work with UNICEF and I'm a consultant, do I like fall into this category? If I work with Coca-Cola and I've been a manager, everything is on USCIS to decide what goes or what passes as a supporting document or whatever. But for you, you want to be sure that as a manager, you are able to show the impact of the project you've conducted, and that impact is global. It's not just for your company. So, as we have Coca-Cola or all these multinationals, you might be regional manager and the impact of your work is just felt in the local region. That's not acceptable. You must have, by the virtue of working as multinational executive, won an award that they compared you with all your peers around the world or all of their branches in the 190 locations, and you came tops. So you need to have all this very tangible evidence to go for EB1A. Let's go on the right side. Okay, they are similar because all of them, they are trying to look for talents to come into the United States and hit the ground running. So some of them are similar, but like I said, EB2-NIW is a little bit more obtainable than EB1A. Okay, so EB2-NIW says the beneficiary or the person who wants to apply must be a member of a profession holding an advanced degree or foreign equivalent degree. Okay, what does this mean? Now, USCIS wants you to show that your master's from Nigeria, your master's from Ghana, wherever, is equivalent to a master's in the United States. So you have to do that conversion before you make an application. Before, you could just use the master's certificate or diploma from these countries and it's fine. But now they want you to show, an equivalence and that it is equivalent to the standard or to that of the United States. Okay? Then you need to have exceptional ability. I'm going to tell you, extraordinary ability in EB1A is quite different, okay, from exceptional ability in EB2-NIW, and I'm going to show you how or why. So the other thing is, please take this away from my face. Okay, exceptional ability is defined as degree of expertise, significantly above that of ordinary encountered in the science, arts, or business. So let me tell you how this goes. If they say ordinarily encountered, that means encountered, we see a lot of people, they have a master's. They probably have a non-thesis master's, or they have thesis master's, but they did not do any publication. That's ordinarily encountered. We can see that every day. But for you who wants to show exceptional ability, you can have at least one publication. Okay, that shows that you just didn't keep that research wherever it was and just graduated. You try to communicate your findings to the public. You try to, go a step further. So it has to be a little bit above an average master's student or the equivalent. So what's the equivalent we are saying? It's not just those that have advanced degree. If you don't have a master's, but you have a bachelor's and maybe up to 10 years of work experience, right? 5 to 10 years of work experience, you can also claim this advanced degree category or exceptional ability category for EB2-NIW. And I'm going to tell you how that could be equivalent to having a master's degree, okay? Is or are services in one of those fields are sought by an employer in the United States. This statement, as is on USCIS website, does not mean you need a job. You do not need a job offer, okay? It's just you need to show that maybe you can go on Indeed or go on all of these job sites and show that they are constantly advertising for geologists or agriculturists or animal scientists. That means employers really need this talent. They need what you've got. Okay, that you can just show it that way. Or you can show that where you currently work, they give you high salary because they don't want you to go. All right, so they really want to keep you and your services are needed. This is highlighted in green because, again, that's what makes EB2-NIW different from the real EB2 itself. The NIW, you have to show that your work, what you're proposing to the United States, will substantially benefit the United States. The United States economy, culture, educational, technology, business interests. All right, or the welfare of the United States in the future. So that is why a doctor can apply based on maybe science or health contribution to the United States, and a social worker also can apply because although they are not like science or social science, but as a social worker, you impact the welfare of the United States, and they've seen that over time. So you can apply. It's not rigid. It is not STEM or non-STEM. Non-STEM can apply. All right. It's the onus is on you. The assignment is on you to prove that you will substantially benefit the United States. I hope we can see the differences in the requirements and eligibility criteria. So with my little time left, I will rush through the supporting document. So like I already differentiated, for EB1A, you can be an outstanding professor or researcher, or you can be claiming to have extraordinary ability. So the supporting documents, I have separated it in that way as well. So you can easily start marking those you think you meet the criteria or the supporting document you can provide while we're even on this call. And I also did the same thing for EB2-NIW too, because the main requirement for EB2-NIW is advanced degree or equivalent. I already told us what equivalent means. All right, let's start. So outstanding professor or researcher, you need the evidence of your original scientific or scholarly research contribution in your field. So if you are not a chemist who has made some particular substance that they are now using somewhere and it's very original, you don't have that product or you don't have a patent for the product, at least you must have publications that shows that prior to your work, the entire chemistry world did not know about that substance. You were the one that made it or something like that. You need to show the evidence. Then major prizes or awards for outstanding achievement. This one, you can use the plaque that they presented you. You can use the, the email. You can also show the check or monetary evidence that they gave you when you won the prize. So this one is published material in professional publications written by others. So this is different, okay? Let's look at it. So your work is so outstanding, is so extraordinary that the media had to publish it. They had to talk about it. There had to be a buzz about it. If you're doing some, machine language or some coding that nobody has ever done before, even just beginning with your organization, everybody is proud of it. They published it. The newspaper published it. You need that evidence, okay? You need to show that evidence that they were published in newspapers or, articles. Let's go to the right side quickly. For EB2-NIW, similar. You need to show your degree, certificate, licenses in that field. Now, let's begin to see the differences. So if I have EB1A, are you saying that I don't need to show my degree, certificate, or licenses? You could and you should, but that's not the bone of contention. We don't really care if Einstein really had a PhD or whatever, but he was able to show that he did original research, if you get the drift. But for the EB2-NIW, right, the basis of everything is this degree, is this advanced degree. So you have to show your diploma. You have to show your certificate. Then for someone who wants to claim extraordinary ability based on that, oh, I just have a bachelor's and these long years of working, you need to show licenses. How are you working in a specific field and you don't have licenses to practice as a medical person or whatever it is, in whatever field it is? You need to show the license, okay? So also EB2-NIW, patents, trademarks, or copyright developed by the person. So, right, these are like top EB2-NIW like applicants. I have not worked with a client that has the patent, okay, since I've been working with my green card story. So that's like the top people, and those people can conveniently even, try EB1A. So patent is like something that you are actually getting money for it, maybe every year, for having those patents. So if you have a patent, it's like a one shot to showing that you've done good work as well, right? Even if you don't have an advanced degree, you don't have PhD or whatever, but you have a patent, that's still like you've done good work. So published articles or media reports about the person's achievement or current work. So I already told us for EB1A, they don't really care. They know, right? If you're working with a multinational company or you're Dora Akoinli or somebody, they won't look for where to put you when you come to the United States. They've already heard about you before you came. I'm not saying everybody has to be Dora, but that kind of thing, you've actually talked about yourself before coming. So that's that one. The media has talked about you. But this one, it could be about your current work. It could be as simple as, when we join organizations in school, they come and interview us as international students, and they're like, oh, what's your experience like coming to the US? Those kind of small media appearances about your work can also go for EB2-NIW application. Okay, let me try to be fast. So also scholarly books or articles authored in scholarly journals with international circulation. All right, so please, this one, I want us to pay attention. If you know that you're working in a multinational organization and the circulation of maybe some kind of document you worked on is just in Abia State, or it's just in one small place, one local space, just go and do EB2-NIW. This one, it has to have international circulation and it has to be known for it. For EB1A, your books, they're on Amazon, or you publish the book, is on Amazon, is about your field, right? That book is changing lives all over the world. You can show evidence that people have bought it from all over the world. This is for you. So, but it has to be in field, right? It's not like something entirely different. Members in professional associations that require their members to demonstrate outstanding achievements. So what we used to do, we the EB2-NIW folks, we go and join one organization like that, 2 or 3 organizations. But those organizations, they don't necessarily need their members to have outstanding achievements. If you're a student, if you are just maybe early professional, whatever, you can join those type of organization. But EB1A is saying those organizations, you have to demonstrate outstanding achievement. Their members is for the 1% of 1%, the who is who's of that profession, something like that. So for the EB2-NIW, however, things are getting tougher, like I said. For EB2-NIW these days as well, for advanced degree or equivalent, you have to show some history of citation of that 1 or 2 papers you've published. If you don't have citation, you have to argue that your work still has national interest or national importance. Even if you don't have publication or citation, you have to argue it and show some competitive comparison with what is outside there. Okay, how many master students really have publication? You know, that kind of thing. You can do the maths and show them evidence if you don't have it. But you can also show that your work has generated a strong discourse, right? That means, oh, I've agreed that my work does not have citation. I've agreed that it does not have any international circulation. Okay, but it has generated discourse. So lab or so professor or so company, they are looking to take up the work I did or a part of it and make it, you know, continue to influence the field of my endeavor. Even just a recommendation letter to that effect would suffice. All right. So evidence showing at least 10 years of experience in my occupation. So these are for our folks that just have bachelors and they are claiming exceptional ability due to like 10 years of work experience. You have to show. If you don't show and you just mention that I have 10 years of work experience, what were the projects you did in those 10 years? How was your salary increasing consistently? How were you moving the ranks? What was your growth like? You have to show all the evidence, okay, to be able to support your claim. Still an outstanding professor. Okay, so outstanding professor participation either on a panel or individually as a judge of the work of others in the same allied academic field. So this one, judging the work of others, is very trickish. Okay, so because in our organizations, they would use you as somebody that would judge people that they employ. That's not really what they are looking at, or the people they should promote or whatever. It has to be related to the field. Maybe if you've been involved in judging input for a competition organized by your company, like if UNICEF is trying to get consultants, right? And they put out a request for proposal, and there are so many proposals based on that project. Maybe it's an health project and how they'll spend money. You can write around that you were part of the judge because it's related to the skills you have to be able to decide who was going to win the contract, that kind of thing. Other significant for EB2-NIW, other significant evidence of the impact of work. And I put this caveat here because a lot of people still want to know what is equivalent, what are we saying. So if your work, some work, they just need bachelors, is oversabi that is making us do masters or PhD for them. So you just be able to show that even if the United States, of course, is a US person that's going to evaluate your petition, right? they understand that what you have is equivalent to what is needed in that field. Okay, I needed to say that. So for extraordinary ability for EB1, you must have sustained national or international acclaim, like I said, major internationally recognized award, major, lesser nationally or internationally recognized prizes or awards of excellence. For EB2-NIW, I told you EB2-NIW is not just about your past. It's about your past, your present, and your future, right? So you have to show that government agencies are interested in your work. So as a student, you are doing a work that your advisor's money or your advisor's money or your school is funding that project. It's government-based or is government funded. So if USDA gives US Department of Agriculture gives my department money to get an international student to come and do research, that means USDA is interested in the research I'm doing, right? So I'm working for government agency or government interested project. They are interested and they're investing in it, all right? So you can also show correspondence from prospective employers, prospective clients or customers that they want to use your work. They want to use your skill. They want to use your talent. They want to use your exceptional ability. This as well, relevant funds, awards, grants from federal, state, or local governments. Yeah, this is similar. We've talked about it. Original scientific research, artistic, athletic, business-related contributions, published materials about you, and EB2-NIW as well, the research product, services developed by the petitioner, published articles in media, evidence that your proposed endeavor has national importance. So when people submit EB1A or EB2-NIW, you will hear that they got RFE because in their mind, they met the three major, criteria, right, that they thought was what made them eligible, but they still get RFE. Well, some of the reasons is the cover letter. So when you give all these supporting documents, it's not enough for you to just throw it at them. These are my supporting documents. I have it. Even Punch has shown my work, even Guardian, all those top newspapers, they've shown my work. This is my work, is there. It's not enough. You need a very strong cover letter that is convincing them that this is what this award means. This means that 250 people or 1,000 people all over the world applied for this, and I was the only person that got it. You need to sell your market. You need to compel them, and you do that in the cover letter. So for the EB2-NIW, I want to emphasize on this because a lot of people come to us, they say, oh, I am in accounting. Does that have national importance? I am in counseling, guidance and counseling. I am a teacher. Does it have national importance? I'm a project manager, data scientist, whatever. They will ask us, does it have national importance? My brother or my sister, I feel everything has national importance. It is how you sell your market. That's how they help you receive it. And you need a very strong, cover letter to articulate that, okay, to communicate that to the person evaluating your case. Authorship, membership of association, judge the works of others, oral and poster presentation at conferences attended. So a lot of people have not published anything because they did all that work and, it's tough to publish, especially in some fields. But they have poster presentation. They've attended so many conferences. You have to be able to articulate that these conferences, I didn't just attend them because I got funding to go, or just to travel and enjoy myself. This was the kind of network I built. The communication I still, have with my Australian colleagues, colleagues from all over the world that also came to this conference. And we are still talking. You have to be able to show that way how your work or whatever thing you did at that conference is still having impact. All right. Let's talk about command I salary and command I salary and prospect to advance in the proposed endeavor. I want to talk about this part because it has to do with the future sometimes. All right. So command I salary. Some of us, we do not command I salary, right? But you know where you should be if you had a good job, even if you're in the US or you're in Nigeria. It's not a problem. All right. It's supposed to straight up be a plus for you if you can show that I command high salary. Like I said, that means you're exceptional. That means they don't want you to go, like I said earlier. But if you do not, but you know that today a data scientist probably earns 150K and you are supposed to be there, it's for you to now show them that, right? This is the evidence. According to the Bureau of Statistics or whatever you are quoting, this is how much a data scientist can be earning. And this is the amount of tax they can be contributing to the United States if I get the right job today. So don't be sad if you don't command high salary. If your field, okay, if you can show evidence that it, is supposed to have high salary, yeah, that's fine. And hopefully someday you will get there. Prospect to advance in the proposed endeavor. This has become a big thing, okay, in EB2-NIW. They are now really concerned about the future. So when you get the green card, what will you be doing? If you had proposed that you would be a data scientist, will you still be a data scientist solving the problem that you said you were going to solve in the health sector when you have your green card, or you go to something that is more maybe lucrative, right? So you have to tell them in details, what is your plan for the next 5 to 10 years? Okay, I know it's time. All right, so Professor Bobola will take us through the stages of application. So in our minds, we have already said or gauged where we are. If you feel like you are outstanding enough or extraordinary enough to do EB1 or EB2-NIW, then how do you go about it, right? So Professor Bobola, over to you.
Thank you, Nick. Thanks for starting the presentation. I hope everyone can hear me. So I don't know why Nick is always calling me professor. I'm not a professor. So
apologies. Dr. Bobola.
So anyway, I know Nick has given us some examples of supporting document, but can you note that there are other supporting documents that you can turn in to support your petition, and that's why we usually encourage people to schedule a consultation. So, for example, you might not have published paper. Let's say for someone applying for EB2-NIW, you might not have published a paper in a peer review conference or have anything that someone that's trying to get a master's or a PhD has. You could be like a professional, and let's say you have been invited to give a talk at World Economic Forum. That's actually strong evidence, and that beats any peer review publication. Or maybe you have been invited by African Union or European Union to help them solve a problem, and you have concrete evidence, paper trail to show for that. That is also something you can turn in. So besides everything that Danica has spoken about, there are other supporting documents that can help you. And that's why we tell people to schedule a consultation so that we can help them to figure it out. And if you go on our Instagram page, we usually provide examples of those that we have worked with and the kind of supporting document that they turn in, so that you can have an insight into what other people are doing. So that being said, let me quickly speak about my own part of this presentation. So after you have assessed your profile and you have an understanding of the supporting document that you attach to your petition, you need to turn in your petition. Okay. So now there are two stages in the application process. The first stage is you need to turn in your petition. Okay. It's when that petition is approved that you will now turn in your adjustment of status if you're in the US, or go through consular processing if you're outside the US. So I've seen instances in which people call me and say, oh, they want to turn in their petition forms with their adjustment of status forms. And I try to discourage people from doing that. So even now, if you turn anything together, you won't still get your EAD card. And that's because the priority date is not current. Priority date is only current for those applying for EB1A. Okay. Now, for those that don't know what priority date is the day you turn in your petition to USCIS. So let's say you turn in your petition today, February 24, and USCIS receives your petition today. Your priority date will be February 24, and that will determine when you get your green card. Okay. Nick, next slide. Okay, so for the petition stage, you need to fill 4 forms. The first one is form I-140. So that form is just asking the basic questions like, what's your name? Where do you live? Are you married? What's the name of your spouse? What are the names of your children? It's easy to fill. The application fee for that form as of today is $700. But by April 2024, USCIS is going to increase it to $715. The second form that you need to fill is form ETA 9089, and this only applies to those applying for EB2-NIW. So even though you are telling USCIS to waive the requirement for a labor certificate, USCIS still wants you to fill the labor certificate form. Okay, and there's no application fee associated with the labor certificate form. So in the past, as of 2 years ago, most people usually fill ETA 750B, but USCIS has discontinued that form. The third form that you fill is form G1145. So in that form, you're just writing your name, your phone number, and your email. And with it, you are authorizing USCIS to communicate with you electronically, either via email or text messages. Nick, next slide, please. Okay, so after you have filled your forms, you have and all your documents are ready, you have signed your cover letter and you have arranged them, you can put them into a single envelope and mail it to USCIS and just do normal processing. Normal processing means that you are only paying the $700 application fee for form I-140. And if you do normal processing, as of now, it's taking between 6 to 8 months for people to get a response from USCIS, whether the petition has been approved or USCIS has given them a RFE, which means a request for further evidence. However, some people are so anxious that they feel, I can't wait 6 to 8 months. I need to know if my petition has been approved right now or within the next 30 days. So if you have enough money, you can do premium processing. And that means in addition to the $700, which is the application fee for form I-140, you will pay an extra $2,500. And if you pay that extra amount, usually USCIS will get back to you within, they say 45 days, but most of the time I've seen them get back to people within 2 weeks. Okay. And they'll tell that, oh, Mr. John Dio, your petition has been approved. Then I'd like to inform you that USCIS plan to implement a new fee for premium processing, which will start from February 26. And it's going to increase from $2,500 to $2,805. They said it's due to inflation. And that's why they are increasing their fee. Nick, next slide. Okay. So let's say you turn in your petition and your petition was approved, okay? And your priority date is correct. So let me explain that priority date again. So let's say you turn in your petition right now, February 24, and let's say you decide to do premium processing and your petition was approved on March 1st, okay? As soon as your petition is approved, you cannot turn in your adjustment of status document immediately. You need to wait until your priority date is correct. And the way you assess that is by looking at the USCIS visa bulletin. So if visa bulletin is a document that USCIS release every month that shows the dates of those that they are currently working on their adjustment of status document. So the one that was released for February 2024 shows that the priority that they are working on right now is February 15th. I think it's around February 15th, 2023. So that means those that turned in their petition last year and they had priority date that is February 15th, 2023. Those are the people that USCIS is accepting their adjustment of status document right now. So
for EB2-NIW.
For EB2-NIW. However, for those for EB1A, the priority date is current, which means if you turn in your petition today and you do premium processing and your petition was approved by March 1st, you can turn in your adjustment of status immediately. That's for EB1A. Okay. So that being said, I need to also explain one more thing. So adjustment of status is for those that currently live in the US. If you are filing for EB2-NIW or maybe EB1A from outside the US, you can't adjust your status. You will go through consular processing, and I have a slide on that. However, there are instances in which someone filed for EB1A or EB2 from outside the US, and the petition is approved, and they say, oh, I can't wait for consular processing. I want to come to the US. And they come to the US, and when they get to the US, they adjust their status. However, please do not take that move except you seek legal counsel. Okay, so adjustment of status, there's a form that you need to fill. It's called Form I-485. The acquisition fee for that form as of today is $1,225. That includes the fee for the form and the biometric fee. So it takes about 1 year for USCIS to process that form. And when that form is approved, that's when you get your green card. So the picture on the lower right-hand corner shows how a US green card looks like. Okay. The second form that you fill when you're adjusting your status is Form I-765. And because you are filling this form with Form I-485, the application fee will be waived. So it also takes about 6 months for USCIS to process this form. And once it is processed and approved, you get the EAD card. So the picture on the lower right corner shows how a EAD card looks like. So if you have ever applied for OPT, the EAD card that you get based on the fact that you have an approved EB2 and NIW petition it looks the same as the EAD card that you get based on the fact that you have an OPT. However, there's a number on the EAD card that shows that you are in the process. I think it's E21 or E26. And that means that it's an employment-based work authorization document that indicate that you are actually in the process of getting your green card. So it carries more value than your OPT card. The third form that you fill, if you are adjusting your status, is Form I-131. That's the application for travel document or advanced parole. So if you are filing the form with your I-485, the application fee will be waived. And it takes like 6 months for USCIS to process the form. So the picture on the right-hand corner is how the advanced parole would look like. It's just a paper. So the purpose of getting an advanced parole is, let's say you have your EAD card and you also have an advanced parole, and you need to take a trip to Germany or your home country. Let's say you are from Bulgaria or from Brazil. Because you have advanced parole, you can travel to Brazil and come back without going to any US embassy to renew your visa. So at the point of entry, once you present that advanced parole, they know that you are in the process of getting your green card. And the immigration officer will look at it and allow you to enter. So there's a lady that we interviewed, and she actually used our advanced parole to travel to our home country. That video is available on our YouTube channel. Please, if you need more information about advanced parole, go and watch that video. Next slide, Nike. The fourth form that you need to fill when you are adjusting your status is Form I-693. That's a report of immigration, medical examination, and vaccination record. Now, it is not you that will fill that form. It is a civil surgeon, which is a medical professional that's authorized by the USCIS to conduct medical examination on people. So you need to schedule an appointment with the civil surgeon and go there with your medical record. Basically, what they want to see is your vaccination record. So if you have been avoiding taking any vaccine, that's where you probably have to take it. Or I think if you can't take it based on religious purpose, I think you can get like a waiver. I'm not sure about that. So usually most civil surgeons, they charge between $250 and maybe $450. So you can shop around. Next slide. So once you have put all those forms together, you can now send it to USCIS. So if you are the primary applicant and you have family members that will adjust their status with you, so let's say you have spouse or children, each of them will also fill those forms that I've talked about. If you need more information, there's a video on our YouTube channel called How to Apply for United States Green Card under EB2-NIW. It gives like a much deeper information about the adjustment of status process. So right now, let's move to those that are filing from outside the US. So let's say you file for United States, let's say you file for EB1A or EB2 from the United Kingdom or from Australia, because I know that a lot of people are trying to file from the UK, and your petition has been approved. So after your petition has been approved, USCIS will send you a letter that says, oh, Mr. John Dio or Miss Jane Dio, your petition has been approved. And they will now tell you that you will get an email from National Visa Center. So you probably get that email maybe 3 months or 4 months after your petition has been approved. And that email will contain instructions on the next step to take. That email will tell you to go on this website, the website of the National Visa Center, to fill some forms. Also, the email will contain the application fee for you and each member of your family. That email will also contain instructions about the supporting document that you need. to attach to your online application. And that supporting document include copy of your birth certificate, copy of your marriage certificate, copy of your valid international passport. Just basic document, okay? Then you fill that online application, and the National Visa Center would process it. So the next step after that is the embassy of the country where you live. So if you live in the UK, the US embassy in the United Kingdom, they would schedule for a visa interview. So you get like an immigrant visa to come to the United States. Okay. So it is when you get to the US, that's when you will now get your green card. Okay. So next slide. So thank you so much. I hope you were able to get enough information that will help you in your journey to turn in a petition for EB1A or for EB2-NIW. So if you want us to help you to evaluate your profile for EB2-NIW, I would advise you to schedule a consultation with us through our website, and you can use this coupon to get a $25 discount. Thank you so much.